This is Natalie, the Vintage Cross Stitch Niche, bringing you another video. I was away last week. We went to the Florida Keys, which for you northern people is the equivalent of going to the mountains, or for New Yorkers, which I'm originally, it's the equivalent of going to the Adirondacks, but just the opposite, because it's quaint. Instead of forests, there's wide open spaces of water, little areas that you can kayak or boat or explore, lots of little restaurants and quaint little towns. Anyway, we just got back from the Keys, where we went lobstering, which in Florida that's diving for lobster, and fishing. So I wasn't here last week. Anyway, I have a lot to show you. I actually shot a video before we left and I erased it because it didn't have my finishes in it, and I wanted to show you the finishes. And also 2 weeks has gone by and I don't know, I just wanted to make a new one, so I did. The only thing missing from that video that won't be in this video is some really nice linen that I made, which is all sold and mailed out. So I don't have that to show you, but I will show you in future videos plenty of linen. Well, let me show you some finishes. Number one, Merry Christmas, Noel by Jeanette Douglas is finished. Isn't it beautiful? And I did not do the final finish on this. Faye Rigsby did. I'm just showing you the fabric. She chose this fabric for me because I just couldn't choose one, so I asked her to. And this is done, I believe, on natural linen with schoolhouse red floss, if I don't forget. Isn't it great? I just love it. I just love it, everything about it. And she did such a beautiful finishing job. So thank you, Faye Rigsby. It's a final finish. Let me go hang this up in its rightful place on my Hoosier cabinet. The second finish is a final finish. I had already showed you this. God Bless Us Everyone by the Primitive Needle. And these little boards, custom made boards, are made by, what's the name of her company? Isn't that awful? I can't remember the name of her company. I'll tell you exactly. Teresa's Primitive Treasures, that's it, on Etsy. They will make any size, any color. So I decided that for Scrooge, we were going to pull the red out and make this beautiful, rich red color. And I mounted him with these rusty old tacks. They're little finishing nails. Doesn't that look fabulous? So that's a final finish. I love this tombstone board. This type of finishing, I now have 4 of these. 4 finished like this are the easiest finishes ever, because you can just tack it on like I did. You can glue it. You can put a piece of mounting board underneath with fabric, or you can fold your piece under the mounting board and put it directly on here. There's so many options that are super easy to do. And when you have somebody like Teresa who's willing to make you these custom boards, you can make it to whatever specification and color that you want. The prices are amazing as well. You could not get this framed for the price that these boards cost. This one still smells like paint. But aren't they fabulous? So Teresa's Primitive Treasures. And this fabric I made myself. These colors, I believe, are called for colors. And then I'm not going to say over-dyed it, but yeah, I over-dyed it. I dipped it in tea and baked it a second time after it was finished to give it a real crunchy look, as you can see. So I think that came out just wonderful. So I've got two finishes. Finally finished objects, FFOs, and I've got one that's, I don't know what you'd call this, a partially finished. This I did last week. This is by the Humble Stitcher called the Halloween Sampler. And I did this on my own very crunchy linen. Very crunchy, that's what I should call it. Oh, you can still see the hoop. I did not iron this. I should have, but isn't that fabulous? Oh, let's see if I can get it up against something to make it look better for you. Oh, that really is bothering me. There we go. So this is done on my own linen. My own linen. This linen is called Midnight Ride, by the way. And the colors that I use for this, originally it's DMC Black and Golden Brown. I used Gentle Art Sarsaparilla and Cast Iron Skillet. Okay. I'm going to make a pillow like she did. I think in the corners I might put some rusty pins. I will attempt to do the pillow myself. Attempt is the word. And we'll see how it goes. I believe this is about 30 count, and I did this 2 over 2, meaning 2 threads over 2 threads to give it this look. I had that piece of linen. I actually had another, I had another piece, so I started this while I was away in the Keys, the Molly Bean Christmas Sampler. Can you see it? And I'm also doing this on my own linen. Isn't that pretty? The red that's called for, it's only one color, is Red Copper, DMC 918, and I chose, which, I don't know where it is. Aha, here it is. And I chose Country Redwood. Country Redwood, I've seen it look on the orange side. This is on the red side. Very beautifully, gently, well, not quite gently, but variegated. And here's my linen, once again. Midnight Ride linen. This is the other piece. This will be done in no time. Then I'll make little matching pillows. One for Halloween and one for Christmas. Before I left, I was working on, or I begun, my unicorn sampler, which is Emma Miles of the Scarlet Letter. That's Emma Miles. Out of print, you can't get it. I won this on an online auction. Paid a lot for it. It was missing some of the over one pieces, and somebody sent them to me. A very good Samaritan. What I also do is I tend to just photocopy the key, because it drives me crazy that I have to constantly flip this chart. This chart is one of those that flip out. I don't want to show you the chart. It's not a cool thing to do. Well, you can do it real quick. Aha, real quick. Okay. And you constantly flip back and forth, so I did this. I also have the linen I dyed It is not a baked linen. It is just a dipped linen, and it has some gentle variegation to it. I don't have a name for this linen yet. And you can see the floss. The floss, I just started this. The floss is by Teresa Vinette, Kitten Stitcher, Shakespeare Peddler, whatever she wants to be called. So she did an over-dyed conversion for me. And the reason I wanted it converted is I love Gloriana and Thread Gatherer silks. I like their coloration, their brightness, their sheen. And as you can see, it's going to look fabulous. Let me hold this up, what I've already done. You're supposed to do that satin stitch when you're done with everything, but I think I'm going to do it as I go along. I think it'll be fine done on a roller frame because it's not going to be crushed in any way. It's just going to be gently rolled. And my own linen. I got to think up a name for this linen. I just want to show you the original sampler linen, at least versus my linen. I think it's pretty close in color. I could call this linen Emma Miles. In fact, I like that. Emma Miles. Aha, here we go. And it's perfect. It's not a formal linen, and it's not a grungy linen. And what the heck? Nope. I had a dust on there. Not dust, but a piece of... Isn't that great? Emma Miles. So I do have some linen to show you that I made. I already have people asking me for Midnight Ride. I'm going to have to make some. And Emma Miles, we'll see if anybody asks me for that. Now, you can't copyright old samplers. And I would never make a sampler and name it Emma Miles because there is an Emma Miles sampler. But can you take the name and use it to call a linen that name? I don't see why not. I mean... seems crazy, but anyway, Emma Miles is going to be the name of that linen. Now I almost forgot I have another finish I didn't even show you. Crown Hem by Scattered Seed Samplers. Isn't that pretty? Now I did not make this linen. This linen is, I have it written down. Well, it's Lakeside Linen Vintage Lentil. Lakeside Linen Vintage Lentil. It's got a little green in it, but I think it turned out perfect. These colors are called for except for... No, they're not called for colors. I have it... They're overdyed. My God. And I do have the... I do have it written down somewhere what the conversion is, but they are overdyed. They're not silk. Excuse me for that. Isn't that pretty? This is going to be framed for sure. I love everything about it. Let's see if I can get something to put behind it so you can see it better. Anything will work. There you go. So I really want you to see the colors. I thought that the baby Jesus deserved some more richer colors than DMC. Isn't that fabulous? So I forgot I had that. Whoops, it's sitting on my thing. So, Crown Hem, Lord of All by Scattered Seed Samplers. I sold it already. Sold it with a piece of linen to do it with the vintage lentil. Let me just go on. That's what's so good about the vintage cross stitch niche website is that I can see what I posted. And here we go, just to show you. Oh, Scattered Seed Samplers, Joy to the World. Can you see it? Let me lower the... There you go. Here you go. So that's it. Joy to the World. I'll crown him. And I do have the conversion on here somewhere, so we'll have to find that. But it's just beautiful. I just love everything about it. Can't wait to see it finally finished. Wow, look at all the finishes I have to show you and starts. So I got all these finishes and starts. What's new? Well, I do have some fabric. I did buy a large lot of fabric from a lady that contacted me that wanted to know if I was interested in buying some of the higher counts that she couldn't stitch anymore. So of course I did. It was not super cheap. It was not expensive. It was reasonable, and it allowed me to get some linen at a lower cost that I could dye and give to other people or sell, so I don't lose any money. But it did have some nice overdyed pieces. Absidarian Blend by R&R came in there. This is a very grungy piece of it. A beautiful piece of it, in my opinion. So I was very happy to get that. This is mystery linen, some sort of overdyed mystery linen. I don't know what it is. Looks very much like plywood. This piece right here is called Daily Grind. Also an R&R, it's 35 count. Daily Grind, an old grungy R&R. My opinion, they need to keep bringing this back, and she has. This is a piece of gray linen that I know is R&R, and I don't know the name of it, but it looks much like weathered shingles. That was in there. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. This piece is a large piece of creme brulee, old creme brulee, variegated and beautiful creme brulee. I'm not showing you the plain stuff I got. I got a huge box of this. I'm just showing you the stuff that was in there. These I did not buy from her. Oh, here you go. This is lamb's wool. So I don't know if I'm going to dye that or keep that as it was, because lamb's wool is a useful piece of linen. So these have to be put away. I bought this somewhere else. This I paid retail for, vintage homespun. Got a nice piece of it. It is 36 count. R&R. And here's a piece of vintage lentil, and this is also 36 or 40 count vintage lentil. I bought another piece of it. I was able to find it. You cannot find this stuff right now. It's hard to find. So I bought another piece. I hope you can see the color. It's got this green modeling to it. I'm not so sure if you can see it on there. And then this is Weeks Corn Silk. I don't know what possessed me to buy this. Again, I bought it from the same person just to get the free shipping, I guess. So it was an Etsy seller. I'm not sure I'm going to keep this or sell it. It is very, very pretty. It's 36 count. It's got a beautiful color. I was looking for this color and I couldn't find it. And now I don't remember what I was looking to get it with. So who knows? The same lady also sent me some charts. Some nice charts that I figured I'd share with you. And some magazines. The magazines we're going to go over later. The charts, she said I could either sell, not sell, give away, or keep. So that was so nice of her. But again, this came with a lot of stuff that I purchased. She just included a bunch of charts. Eleanor Simpson by Historic Stitches. This is really beautiful. Eleanor Simpson. That's a very beautiful sampler. This is Rabbit Works, called A Gift to Thee. I really love the green linen. I know it's a little shiny on there, but that's a very, very pretty little sampler. I don't think it's a reproduction sampler, but this might be out of print, I don't know. Brickhouse Sampler by Marilee A. Beams. There's two Beams samplers here. That's one. Red Brick House. And then this one is called Motif Sampler by also M.A. Beams. This is 1978 on it. I'm sure these are long out of print. Just to let you know, prices were $3.50 for these samplers. It just tells you how long ago it was. I Wait for the Lord by Hands to Work. I love the little note she left me. It says, from my stash, thought of you. Of course, this is beautiful. Hands to Work, I Wait for the Lord. I'd love to see this done in blue or black or red. Isn't that pretty? That's magnificent. This one is Little Red Bird by La Di Da. I've always liked this one. Pretty, huh? Simple. 19th Century Birds by Hands to Work. Sort of fractal looking. Very beautiful. This is Hillside Sampling's Anna Tarbox. There's a Facebook for this and has a PDF and files for the group. This is an original copy of Hillside Sampling's Anna Tarbox. Apparently there's a Facebook group that's doing this as a stitch along. I think it's a box top. No, it's not, but it could be. Anna Tarbox, beautiful. Then, this is from my sewing machine. Why it's here, I don't know. Then this is from a 2013 class. This is all in French, but apparently this is the sampler. Even though the instructions are in French, the sampler appears to be in Italian or Spanish. Here's one side of it. Here's the other side of it. My God. Is that the other side or just the top? What is this? I don't know. I'm just going to assume it's, I'm not sure. But apparently there's two sides here. I don't know if this is two separate samplers, and let's see if I can find this out. It's in French. How difficult. Oh no. Anyway, very interesting. This might be a gift for somebody that reads French, but this is amazing. I love about this is I love the bird up there and the figures and almost clothing down here. I mean, this is such an interesting sampler. It's so different from anything I've seen before. Eleonora Cosi, 1809. Of course, I can't read French, but this was from a class. Now, you don't have to be able to read French to follow the directions on this sampler. Aha. Because it's just symbols. I think that back one's a separate sampler because apparently this looks like the, I have the entire thing here. It's really something else. It's beautiful. I love that. But there's other pieces here. Other little sampler type things. Hate to separate this though, but there's all kinds of, I mean, look, holiday. This must have been some class. Interesting. Something to do with seasons, this one. I mean, there's definitely, it's interesting. The supplies are in English. Oh, it says here Giulia Manfredi. Giulia Punta Antici. Yeah, I know who that is. But it's in French. So they did an Italian designer in French. Anyway, I can't imagine this is in print anywhere, and it's a beautiful, beautiful sampler. And if I do it, I may not give this away. It's just such an interesting sampler. Now the other pieces of this, if I want to separate it, I could. And she did also give me 2 magazines. And I will go through those as our magazines today. Now here's a purchase. Hold on. This is... Aha! That was vintage maritime white, not lentil, but it looked like lentil because it had a lot of green in it. That's really weird. 36 count. And the yellow was corn husk. I knew I saved the label from there. Anyway, I want to show you these. These are from Lucy Beam. These are handmade project bags. Check them out. I bought these too. I love the mason jars. I love the button closure. Just very, very nice. What's inside? Aha! Something else I ordered is in here. I forgot about it. So we got that one. Here's the second one I ordered. This one has got the sewing. Oh, let me show you the inside fabric. Just pretty blue inside fabric. This is so pretty. This has got a sewing machine. See the sewing machine fabric? But look at the inside fabric. Scissors. Isn't that fabulous? These are so nice. She does such a beautiful job. And then I ordered a floss keep. Now what I do is I put all my flosses on a ring, and this is a ring. So the ring has charms, and look what she has there. Can you see that? Oh, I hope it's not blurry, I can't tell. Isn't that cute? And it's got a little scissor. These weren't very expensive, and they're adorable. She sold out of these when she put them on her page. She has a page just for selling this stuff. But I love the weather vane. Isn't that cute? I'm so excited to get that on my project bags. I don't know. I don't always use I use project bags when I go to like the cross stitch cupboard or somebody's house and to put stuff in and take them. I just think they're beautiful, and they really do protect your stuff. I like the plastic ones too, but these are just so nice. show you what else I bought. A few more things. I featured the Little Stitcher on my Facebook group page, the Vintage Cross Stitch Niche. And she sells downloads, but I asked her if she could send me hard charts, and she did. And these are the two that I bought. Very dangerous when I put this stuff on there. I end up buying charts. These are sort of sealed, but this one is called St. Lucy's Day. Isn't that awesome? St. Lucy's Day by Little Stitcher. And this one is called God Jewel. These are both Swedish. Aren't they fabulous? So she has an Etsy shop. This one's called Christmas in Sweden. This one's called St. Lucy's Day. She has an Etsy shop where you can buy these as downloads, or if you email her, maybe she'll send you them too. So I have these hard charts that need to be kitted up. What do they call for? Let's see what, I'm always curious to see what they call for. I'm going to have to cut this open. This is super annoying. It looked like it was just in a plastic bag, but I couldn't open it. Sort of, maybe the heat sealed itself. It was like vacuum packed. My God. We'll get it out. We'll get it out. There we go. Okay. This, oh, look at the colors, how much nicer it looks without the plastic. Let's see. Probably DMC it calls for, but let's see. Calls for DMC. There's one, two, not that many colors, 7 or 8 colors. And she did this on 32 counts Weigart Belfast Vintage Country Mocha. You can do this on any linen. There are 3 charts in here. The main chart is 87 by 122. So actually it's 4 charts. So you get 4 charts for this cost. And St. Lucy, I'm sure it's also done in DMC. Let's get this open. I'm just annoyed that I can't get it open. And almost like from the heat or whatever, got sealed up. This one, look at the vibrant colors. Nothing wrong with DMC. I just like overdyes. It's just my thing. I like vibrant colors, not that many. It's 79 by 140, also done on Vintage Country Mocha with DMC. There is some back stitching here. I don't see it. I think it's just in the eye. Yep, almost no back stitching. Oh, now I got issues because this is going to fall apart. So I'm going to have to put these in new bags. I'll find some bags. Great. Then this was an interesting little story. It looked like they were asking, I don't know, $700 or $800 for this chart on Amazon. This out of print chart on Amazon. And I posted it on my page. And the lady, somebody from my group page emailed her and asked her if that was the real price. And of course it wasn't. It was $7, not $700. So I went back and I saw it was still for sale. And I'm like, ooh, nobody bought it for $7. I bought it. So I think it was like $7 plus $4 shipping. The Good Housewife. This is called Ruth Sampler. I don't know if I'm going to actually do this, or I may just save this for a giveaway. It is out of print. It is hard to find. You cannot find it. In fact, I have never seen this in print before, but it's pretty neat, huh? I could easily make linen for this, and I might. It only has 4 colors in it. 4 colors, and it was done on 36 count muffin. Muffin was made by, I think, a company called Green Mountain. which is not in existence anymore, but I could easily make some really cool linen for this and kit it up and sell it or do a giveaway with it. More prone to do a giveaway with it. It's great. Ruth Sampler. There's no last name, just Ruth. I don't know if it's a real reproduction sampler or if it's just, but it doesn't say. But anyway, these are out of print. They might be, she was, the Good Housewife, she was reprinting these and hasn't done it in a while, but she was. And then it says Anne Brown. And one final thing that I did buy, I don't know what possessed me other than this is super interesting, is an out-of-print kit that I thought was pretty interesting and neat. This is called Belinda Coffin by Appleseed Prim. Look what an interesting chart that is. Sort of drab colors, which I find intriguing. Once again, really nice, different. Lots of interesting open space. Now it came with over-dyed floss, very drab looking over-dyed floss. I gotta tell you, what I paid for the kit was about what you can buy the floss for. So it's a good deal. And it came with this nice piece of fabric. Really nice piece of fabric. Here you go. It's sort of a drab thing of interest, but I like it. Something about it just drew me. Do you see the colors? Pretty interesting, huh? This one's oak, putty, light khaki, molasses, and dirt road. What is this fabric? The fabric is 30 count R&R Reproductions French Vanilla, an old piece. So this was a bargain because you got this, looks like 1/8 of a yard of French Vanilla, and this is a nice grungy piece. And it's got movement to it. If I can just show you, can you see the movement it has to it? Sometimes I think it's hard to see things on here. Here you go. Really pretty piece of French Vanilla. The color doesn't always show up properly, so you have to pull it back sometimes. What a great little kit. Appleseed Prim, Belinda Coffin, Antique Reproduction Schoolgirl Samplers. Maybe it's not out of print. It's 2014. I gotta look and see. It was advertised as out of print, but 2014 was only 6 years ago. So, but what a great kit with the floss and the cool looking fabric. This was a bargain. Super bargain. Okay. We could read from A Christmas Carol, but I don't want it to make this too long a video. So instead, we're going to do some interesting stuff. We can read a little from A Christmas Carol. Let's see where I left off. I left off at Marley's Ghost. We'll just read 2 pages, that's it. Scrooge stopped at his usual tavern, took his usual table, and ate his usual melancholy dinner. No other customers greeted him, and he greeted none of them. He passed the time reading all his newspapers and checking his bank books. And when all the papers had been read and the bank books checked, Scrooge went home to bed. Scrooge lived in the apartment that once belonged to his partner, Jacob Marley. It was a gloomy old place in a small building that was now surrounded by other larger ones. The building was such a dreary one that no one chose to live there. so the other rooms were rented out as offices. The front courtyard was dark in the fog and frost as Scrooge entered the gate and walked to the door, and he inserted the key in the lock. His eye caught the glimpse of the large, shiny brass knocker on the door. It was the same knocker he had been seeing morning and night for all the years he lived in the building, but suddenly tonight it was not a knocker that stared back at him. No, it was the face of Jacob Marley. But Marley's dead, thought Scrooge, frozen to the spot. My eyes must be playing tricks on me, just because of those visitors I had this afternoon, those two men seeking charity. My thoughts returned to Marley quite by chance. Now Scrooge stared harder at the knocker. Here was Marley's face, with a dismal light around it. Marley's face with ghostly spectacles raised on its ghostly forehead. Marley's face with hair blowing strangely and wildly about his head. Marley's face with eyes wide open and bulging but not moving. As Scrooge stood there, unable to tear his gaze from the door, the strange vision became the knocker again. Did I imagine that vision in the knocker? He asked himself with his heart thumping nervously. But since he could find no answer, Scrooge forced himself to turn the key in the lock and walk inside. Yes, he decided he must have imagined it all. Still, before he shut the door, he looked carefully behind it, as if he half expected to see Marley. But there was nothing, only the screws and nuts that fastened the knocker to the door. "Pooh-pooh!" cried Scrooge, slamming the door with a bang. He was angry with himself as he lit his candle and climbed the stairs to his room. So Scrooge is beginning to be visited by ghosts. Now he comes home. He's got his little cup of broth with him, his cheap dinner, and on the way home he's stopped by some people looking for charity, and he says no. And he comes home and he puts his key in the door and he sees Marley's ghost, or Marley's face, and you know what comes next. Fabulous book, fabulous writing, Dickens. Love it. When I went to England that time, I wanted to see Dickens. Myself. I wanted to see his house. I just did not have time, because I went to Shakespeare's house instead, so maybe next time. Anyway, so in that same lot that I bought, she had given me 2 of these booklets. There's some really cool stuff. They're not booklets, they're magazines that are out of print. Sampler Antique Quarterly. I used to get this magazine and I sold them all. I was trying to organize stuff, and don't ask me why I sold them all. I had probably 20 of them. I don't even know if I had these though. I think I had some of the later editions. This is fall 2001, and this one is, I don't know. It doesn't say on it. Anyway, let's go through them. There's a note on here. I'm saving these notes. Extra magazines in my stash. Enjoy or give away. Let's go through this. And all these magazines, there's many of them, I should say. There's a Bible quote. This one, it says, "Know therefore this day and consider it in thine heart that the Lord, he is God in heaven above, and upon the earth beneath there is none else." Deuteronomy. Nice. So let's just show you what's in here. This one is a French band sampler. I don't know who reproduced it. It doesn't say, but it's a French sampler. Okay. Charts in here. Oh, designed by Virginie Menzel-de-Gien. I don't know her. Virginie Menzel-de-Gien. Then they've got a whole thing in here on knotting and tatting shuffles, and there's pages and pages of these interesting shuffles for making lace. Beautiful. I mean, there must be 6, 7, 8 pages of these. Then you've got Treasure Wreath Box by Hannah, reproduced by Lorna Reeves. Okay. Oh, then you have this fabulous sampler. Oh my goodness. This is a Boston sampler. It says here, in the late 1700s, young girls in the area outside Boston, Massachusetts showed a propensity for stitching expansive samplers set within the deeply arcaded border of four-sided open squares. Those four-sided open squares in the border say it's a sampler. Ruth Ann Russell created a sampler that incorporated many of the same elements. This is not a reproduction sampler, it's a created one. And this is called I Sigh Not for Beauty. Oh, it is beautiful. Look at that sampler. Isn't that pretty? Wow. Once again, fall 2001 if you're interested in it. I do love the border. Such an interesting border. This whole thing is cross stitch, no worries. By Ruth Ann Russell, done with DMC or Anchor on 32 count dirty linen. Then there's a whole thing in here on Acworth Samplers. This is a darning sampler. Acworth. Of course, Acworth is England. The Acworth School. It's a Quaker school. And there's some more darning samplers here. These are a little on the light side. They're hard to see, but they're pretty neat. I don't know if these darning samplers have been reproduced. But I do know that the Quaker samplers have been reproduced by Scarlet Letter. This is Sarah Swinburne. I am pretty sure this has been reproduced by the Scarlet Letter. Probably, I think it's still in print actually. It's magnificent, is it not? Isn't that beautiful? And this one is Medallion Sampler. This one's also been reproduced. I like the open space. Isn't that pretty? I love the color. And this is Anne Grimshaw, 100% this has been reproduced. I've seen people do this. I've seen this done. It's magnificent, is it not? Once again by the Scarlet Letter. Scarlet Letter has reproduced these. You have to go onto her website to find these charts. I bought a few charts from her and she ships very promptly. You can buy things also as kits where it has the called for floss and linen. Usually her linen that she picks out. I don't know where she gets her linen from, but it's very pretty linen. And this is Phoebe Chandler. This one I'm not sure if she did reproduce, but it's an alphabet sampler. Very, very pretty. So these are all from the Acworth School. Just magnificent. Now, of course, they don't give you the charts in here, but I can tell you where you can get them. Just magnificent. There is a chart in here for Strawberry Basket Sewing Box. It is so pretty. I'm going to show you the whole thing. Isn't that pretty? Very, very nice. Came with accessories. that's it. This was 4 quarterly issues, were $24.95 back then. Considering my salary really hasn't changed since 2001. Things were so much cheaper. Called inflation. Now this one is volume 8. I don't know what year it is. How do they not tell you what year it is on the front? Right. I thought, oh, 1992. So this is 2001. This is 1992. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. From Luke. Luke 2:10-11. Here's a sampler called the Helen Robertson Sampler. Here's the original. And I believe this is the reproduction. So the Helen Robertson Sampler. Very pretty colors, huh? And what does it say about the Helen Robertson Sampler? Does it say much? No, it doesn't. It says colorful piece. And where is, I would hope that the chart's in here somewhere. I'm sure it is. Yeah, it is. Let me just find the chart so I can see who reproduced it. Well, we'll have to wait till we get to it. But that's the Helen Robertson Sampler. This is by A Sampling of Stitches, Past to Present, Darlene Osteen. Isn't that pretty? It's a little sampling of stitches. It's very, very pretty. 17th century sampler. There are instructions in here on this, and there's a number of different types of stitches. And then the Helen Robertson sampler does not say who did it on here, but there is a chart in here for it. Then there's an entire thing on lace they've got in here, with some instructions on how to make it. Then we have the Lizzie chern side sampler. I think it's cool how they have the, as you can see, that's the original. Darling little sampler. And this is the stitch reproduction. Oh, I'd like to get a close up. It's just darling. Original. Reproduction. Of course, the original is a little more grungy. If it was up to me, I would do the grungy. You can make your sampler look like this. As you can see, you just make the proper linen, and then you dip it again, and then you hem the edges, and I've showed you before how to do that. But you can make your sampler look like that. Victorian card case, something else they have in here. A 1992 Dutch Motif sampler. Now this is a recreation, and it just says, this modern day sampler inspired by the colors and motifs of Dutch samplers combines elements traditionally found on those samplers with additional components such as a meandering border. I don't know what a meandering border is, but an alphabet and numerals. If anybody could tell me about the meandering border. Dutch samplers contain motifs, flower pots, windmills, and peacocks, placed in a random but orderly and balanced fashion. I love how they just explain this to you, but this is such a pretty sampler, my God. Beautiful, beautiful colors. Very, very pretty. It looks fairly orderly to me. It's symmetric. It's not huge either. where's the chart for this? It's done in Soie d'Alger and DMC, or DMC, done on 25 count mocha linen. It's 126 by 150, it's not huge. So on 30 count linen, it's 8.5 by 10. It's not bad. This is a tea time little tea box they have in here, just to show you. The charts in here, how to do this. Victorian, you know, the Victorian card cases in here that I showed you. Where's the Victorian card case? Hold on. I did show you that, right? Yes, I called it a little purse or something, but it is a card case. And then some knitting, some interest for knitting, lace, and there's something really interesting on the back cover here. They have an actual 16-piece service for 4 of dinnerware that is cross-stitch. Check it out. I've never seen this. Isn't that cool? So this is 1992? 92? I think that's what I said. 1992. This cost $135 plus shipping for a 16-piece set, which is only service for 4. That was a lot of money. Now I'm curious to know. Let's see, where would you find this? Maybe eBay? Okay, so let's look it up and see. It is called Blue Sampler. And it's dinnerware. Let's see. And I do not see it here for sale. Let's see if there's any that sold. Nope. Okay, let's Google this. Blue Sampler dinnerware. Just, let's see. Blue Sampler dinnerware by Just Cross Stitch. Oh, there's my cat. Oh, Meow Meow, come here. So rare that he makes his debut. Come here. Come here, Meow Meow. Oh, he was not happy that we were not here. He is a large cat, as you can see. This is Meow Meow, or Pooter. Oh, he's purring here. And are you happy to see us home? Yes, you are. This is Meow Meow. Say hello out there. As you can see, he's a Hemingway cat. He has very, very big paws. Huge paws. Anyway, he's so happy to see us home. He's also shedding. Oh, where were we? Okay, so now I do see a picture of it. I think it's from Pinterest, of course. They also had it on Worth Point. It apparently was sold. So here's a picture of it. Worth Point's one of those what's it worth sort of sites, and it was sold. And apparently it doesn't say what it's sold for, but that's pretty cool. Anyway, I thought you'd get a kick out of that. I did. So I think we're good. What else to say? Please join us on the Vintage Cross Stitch Niche on Facebook, our group. Giveaways are done on the group page, and they're not done here because I just can't get a hold of people. I know I keep saying that, but maybe I'll change my mind and retry it again. And we do some great giveaways there. I do Designer of the Day, where I put up a bunch, sometimes 70 or 80 photos of different designs from a particular designer. we just have, and there's a lot of nice people. There's no meanness on that page at all. It's just love. Love, or like, or respect. And we just have a good time. So thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you really like the video and you want to see more videos, then subscribe. The more subscribers I get, I'm over 1,700 now, but the more I get, the more that I want to make. Do I have anything last minute? I wondered if I showed you these pens. I don't remember if I showed you these. Yeah, I did. I did last time. I think this is the next. This is going to be part of the giveaway, just to show you. That is going to be a really cool needle minder. But I can't wait to make it. Try not to take all this life too seriously. Life is too short to take it so seriously that it consumes you. On the other hand, being a responsible citizen is a good idea. I agree with that. I think that's about it today. From my home to yours, enjoy stitching, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.